Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another broadcast here tonight, Live with David. I'm David Burrows, and wherever you're watching from, thank you for being here. We've really been on the theme of music for a while, and we're really excited about that, and we're going to talk about a lot of different topics. And sometimes what we talk about is just kind of the laws of the universe at the time is what's working with us. Last week, we had a great conversation with Vince Burkhardt, who is the founder of RAMP, Rising Artist Mentorship Program. And through that, Vince and I have been talking, and he's got a lot of amazing young talent and performers that we're probably going to be hopefully talking to a lot of them. And that's what we're doing here tonight. My guest tonight is Jaanvi. She is a 14-year-old singer and songwriter. She lives in Colorado as well. And she's been trained in classical piano since the age of 4. She likes to write a lot of different things, a lot of different genres. She likes to sing and play from, alternative rock to indie to soul. She's just really a multi-talented person, and I don't know what more I can say about her other than let's just bring her on here. She's going to come on your screen here in just a moment. There she is. Jaanvi, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. There's lots that we can talk about with you because you've really, I'm reading this. You got influences like Billy Joel, so you got brownie points for that because I'm a big Billy Joel fan. And I've seen Queen and Fleetwood Mac, and I have to ask you the question though because you're 14 years old.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying those are some pretty old musicians. How did you come to know them and be influenced by them?
A lot of my friends, their parents kind of listen to that type of music, which is how they started listening to that type of music. But my family listened to completely different genre of music than that. But I don't know. I guess nowadays kids are venturing off into the deep, deep web these days. And I don't know how old I was. I think I was in 7th grade. I was 11 or 12, and I was just on YouTube, and Somebody to Love by Queen, the video, showed up in my suggested box, and I clicked on it. And the first thought that came to head was like, wow, this music's so much better than the stuff I'm listening to right now. So I started doing some research, and if you go on X amount of sites, or if you go on Wikipedia, they'll be Queen, and then they say if you enjoyed reading through all of this, here's a bunch of other artists that we suggest, and it just never stopped from there.
Yeah. Well, good for you for picking some cool music, I gotta say.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the beginning of your musical career as almost been from birth, right?
Yeah, my mom put me in classical piano when I was barely 4. And it wasn't until a little earlier that I started kind of going into the genres that I play now and developing that sort of, I guess, style. But yeah, it's been kind of a little while.
Yeah, but that's fantastic. So that my next question then is, if your mom put you in that young, is there musical influences in your family?
My mom's side of the family, definitely. I always grew up around music, and my mom's siblings, I remember that they just bring over the guitar every now and then, and my dad sings, and yeah, my brother used to play the guitar, and I was always around that. The music was always running through the family, but
right.
Yeah.
So at 14 years old, what grade are you in then?
I just started my freshman year of high school.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
How are you liking that so far?
It's actually not as scary as I thought it was going to be. It's just, I go to a performance art high school, and when I went there, I definitely knew that was the place that I was meant to be, because the middle school I went to wasn't necessarily for the arts. But it's just, I love being surrounded by a bunch of creative people and songwriters like myself, and get to share all of our ideas. It's complete chaos, but it's so much fun.
Organized chaos. They like to
yeah,
call
for
that,
sure.
Right? Yeah. So you like to use that side of the brain, then? That's the creative side. That's
yeah.
So you're writing as well. A lot of things you're writing yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always writing. I'm always writing, whether that be song lyrics, I'm jotting down on napkins. If I'm at like a coffee house, I'll just write down on napkins. My notebooks, my math notebook is actually probably filled more with lyrics than actual like algorithms or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, writing was something that I could always. I knew that writing was something that I enjoyed from a very young age.
Right.
And I'm constantly writing, just writing whatever, writing lyrics, writing music, writing notes. Just depends on the day, I guess.
Right. So you're, like most musicians, this is a way for you to release some emotion and share, parts of yourself and
Yeah.
share. Do you ever just, do you ever just write silly songs?
I mean, like half my songs are absolutely bogus. Like there's no meaning behind them. Like half my album, which comes out soon, it's just those songs. Like people always say that my songs are hard to understand, and I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right because I have no idea what my songs mean. They're just kind of some words, yeah. But I mean, the select few that have meaning are songs that I hold very, very close to my heart.
Right. At 14 years old, it sounds like, and like you've already had a lot of life experience. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I'm just kind of starting to step into kind of finding out who I am as a musician, as an artist, or I guess most importantly, in retrospect, a human being. Like my mom always made that very clear, and just now am I now starting to kind of breach off into that. But I have had some life experience, but I've still definitely got a long way to go.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't
For
think
sure.
we don't ever stop growing, no
Yeah, we
matter.
never stop learning. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Fantastic. Well, we've got somebody in the lobby here. I guess you're probably a mentor to you, but somebody that you've worked with through the RAMP program, which is the Rising Artist Mentorship Program. And we want to bring him in, Vincent Burkhart. We had him on our show last week. He's going to come and join us here. Hello again, Vincent.
Hey, David. Great to have me back. Hello, Jaanvi.
Yeah.
Hi, Vincent.
Yeah. This is, I can already tell. I have to say this. This is really cool because even before we went live, we were figuring a few things out. You guys have a great relationship with what you do. It really shows, right? So, Vincent, talk about some of the experiences and some of the successes that you've had with Jaanvi.
Well, it's just been fun setting up some events for her and working with her, getting to know her wonderful family and seeing her poise. And, you can already tell from this conversation how well spoken she is. And
Absolutely.
she's really able to affect an audience in performance. So it's been really a great pleasure to do that. I think probably the most iconic gig that we worked on together was Jaanvi had just formed a band, the Saturday Tides. And we had a gig up at the Mishawaka Amphitheater, which at the time was celebrating its 100th anniversary up the Poudre Canyon. And I'd like Jaanvi to explain the beauty of that environment there.
I mean, the thing about the Mishawaka is it's one of the most, I guess, desired outdoor venues in Colorado.
Yeah.
And as young artists, to be able to play such a beautiful venue, it's a really amazing experience. And the thing that kind of opened my eyes a little bit was your attention is solely based on the relationships you make and your performance and the music, because there's no service, there's no Wi-Fi. You can't just look at your phone the entire time.
So true.
So
yeah, it's really true.
Yeah,
it was a fun gig.
You didn't have any withdrawals from no Wi-Fi?
I mean, as a child of the tech generation, that was kind of hard for me, but I mean, I made so many new friends and I created so many relationships, and a lot of the artists that played the Mishawaka that year are people that I'm very close to now and people that I love collaborating with, and it's just all thanks to the Mishawaka and RAMP for setting up that type of environment and show.
Yeah, the owner of the Mishawaka, Danny Grant, was very generous, and for 3 years allowed me to have a showcase up there, which basically was 6 hours, 10 bands each year. And overlooking, there's one picture I sent you, David, which didn't have Saturday Tides, unfortunately, but there's a band, the Gremlins. There's 3 guys playing in a band up on stage. That was at the Mishawaka stage. And it's the green room that they had. That's where all you guys were like hanging out kind of before the show and everything. And that's where you formed I think you were able to forge some of those friendships and relationships that you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a few people and a guitar is all you need to make new friends.
They get world-class bands through there. It's the second most desired venue in Colorado, the first being Red Rocks Amphitheater, which pretty much every year is voted the #1 outdoor venue in the world. So to be a second behind that is quite the honor, especially with the beauty of Colorado. So yeah, that was really fun doing that for 3 years, and we've had some other opportunities that have come up as well, and it's just fun setting up those performances, which are quite a bit of work, but they're always worth it because you see the results and you see the opportunities when they have a gig coming up like that. You know, it's probably a pretty cool feeling to Jaanvi to prepare for a gig like that.
Yeah, totally.
How would you, Jaanvi? I mean, this is some pretty amazing stuff again here. Just the way Vincent shares, you know, this location and everything. Jaanvi, there's a lot of different age groups going on with the ramp program. I guess you're probably near what sort of one of the oldest, right? There's maybe a few a little older, but
I would say
in the middle.
Yeah, I was gonna say like about in the middle.
In the middle, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, ramp isn't necessarily just musicians. I mean, there are junior broadcasters, there are promoters that are working with ramp, and I mean, there are people as young as 8, 9, 10 that are involved with ramp, and we have some people that are in their 20s and their 30s and older than that. So I mean, it's very diverse.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know it was that high of an age group. So
That
how do you
being a mentor? I'm sorry to interrupt. Those folks that are older we want to bring those in as mentors to the youth.
Right? Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So my question then, Jaanvi, would be at 14 years of age, you know, and there's some younger ones, you know, kind of running around and everybody's being creative. Do you find that you get an opportunity to help lead the younger or have an influence on the younger folks from you know your own personal experiences, and then you know sharing talents? What do you bring to ramp that you share?
You know, I try my hardest, but we all kind of just help each other out. It has, I guess, less to do with age and more to do with, I mean, here's something that I know, and here's something that you know. How about we elaborate on those and come out with more knowledge? So that's kind of how it works with the ramp community. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the mentors that are around you, what kind of things what kind of things are you taking away from them?
I mean, I take so much from the mentors that I work with, whether that be like the logistics of tech, it be songwriting suggestions, whether it be teaching me how to run cables. I mean, there's obviously technicalities, but I think the biggest thing that I take away from my mentors is like life lessons and things, I guess, to live by as a musician, as an artist. So that's been definitely the most important.
Right. Now, as an artist, I mean, I don't even really have to ask this question. This is a career choice for you, correct?
Yeah, I hope it'll go as far as I want it to go, but yeah.
So what do you think you need to do as an artist, as a performer? I mean, you have to treat this like a business, right? I mean, that's what eventually comes to your career, whatever. What kind of sacrifices do you think you're going to have to make along the way to get you there?
You know, I mean, up until, I guess, a few months ago, I was kind of just winging it. But now that I'm kind of getting to a point where I have to think about those things, I mean, it's really, man, I wish I could tell you. Like, there are going to be things that are going to throw a wrench into your plans, and those are just things you have to deal with, as I guess as a person in general, but as a musician, it's just puts everything into perspective.
Right. So how do you when the obstacles come along, how do you, I mean, you're 14 years old, you know, it can be a lot of pressures on making career choices, and when obstacles come along, how do you handle it?
Me personally, I kind of just I don't know, I try and analyze the situation as best that I can. And I know as long as I do my best, something will come out of it.
Right. What about family? Sorry, Vincent, you had something you want to throw in there?
Oh, I appreciate that. I think that a strength of the RENT program is that there's the knowledge that these are all life experiences and relationship building. So if Jaanvi has a gig at the Mishawaka, she's going to meet the sound person that's doing the sound. She's going to meet these other artists in the green room. She's going to, interact with the junior broadcasters that are doing the emceeing. She's going to have an opportunity before and after her set to interact with the audience. She's going to see certain artists that may have certain swag for sale. See that we have I think we had a juggler out there, and we had somebody doing hooping out there. It's all about relationships, and I think knowing that it's easy to think when you go to a gig it's all about the artist, but it's not. I mean, people maybe subconsciously they think that's all that it's about. But I think for a youth artist to understand that the people that are serving the people at the table, you can be on stage and you can urge people to buy food and drink to support the establishment, and stage presence. And there are all these things that are life skills that, regardless of the endeavor that you're doing in life, whether it's music based or not, you're going to have those skills to bring to the table with that. So I think that people like Jaanvi, who already have an incredible family support system and are really incredible parents, they are able to kind of take that to the next level through having these experiences.
Yeah, fantastic. It's really there's so much going on with Ramp, because it's like all those things you just talked to. There's so much it's not just going up and performing. It's the business side.
Well, and if I don't mind me adding, with Jaanvi, it's a new level for me, because I'm looking a bit beyond the life skills, where she has this incredible music video coming out this week. She's got an upcoming CD. And so how do I best promote that? So I'm completely in learning mode. This is pretty much new territory for me.
Well, let's talk about it. Jaanvi, your new video and your new music. Tell everybody.
Yeah. Well, my EP, which will be coming out next month, and there's no, I guess, predominant genre. It's kind of all over the place. But we filmed a music video for a soul song. It's called Glory Song. It's one of the few songs that actually means something to me, which sounds really bad, but
why does that sound bad?
I mean, a lot of people say, like, this is something that came, like, from within you, I guess, whether that be your subconscious telling you that you have to deal with something that's going on. It's like, no, not really. I just thought of a lyric. Yeah, so I get quite a bit of backlash for that part, but I don't know. When I first came out with Glory Song and I first played it at a show, I realized that your words definitely have a really large impact on the way people think, the way people treat others, and the way that people view you as a person. And if words have such a large impact, then I think we should use them to our advantage, for the better, of course. It could go either way. But Glory Song is kind of about, this is going to sound bad, but everything that's wrong with the world right now. And it sounds really pessimistic and morbid, but the whole message of the song is that we sit around kind of doing nothing, expecting someone else to clean up the mess for us. But we were brought on this planet for a reason, and we need to take care of everyone around us. It's basically just to take care of each other is the thing.
Yeah.
And that might be on a larger or smaller scale, depending on, I guess, who you are or what part of the world you live in. But everyone has a voice. And if your voice happens to be smaller than someone else's voice, then find other ways to speak out about it. Or if you have a larger voice than some, speak out for them. So I worked with the guys at Kind Up, Cody and Corey. They did an amazing job. I just saw the rough draft, actually. The rough draft is already a little bit more tweaking and to perfect the music video, and we got it done really quickly, and it was just a really cool experience. They were very intuitive, and they definitely communicated with me about what looked good, what didn't look good, and that kind of ties in with the whole business aspect, is kind of playing towards a certain aesthetic and making sure that it made me feel very comfortable, especially for my first time being like on a professional set. But yeah, I'm really excited for everyone to be able to see what we came up with.
You sure you're 14?
I know. That's what I was telling you this before the show, David. I said, if I got the person for you to talk to.
You're just an amazing person already.
Thank
I can
you.
tell. And one of the things I'm jotting a few things down here because I don't want to forget to ask you. I just want to be around you. I can't wait to hopefully someday see you perform live because and I'll just share with you, that's a really, really fantastic skill to have. I hope you realize that skill that you have to make people feel like they want to be around that person. It's a huge power, right? I will tell you, use it responsibly. And I'm sure that you will. You already seem to be surrounding yourself with the right people. But one of the things that you made in that conversation, one of the statements you said was how people view you. How do you want people to view you?
As an artist, your reputation definitely is a big thing to look out for. And there's this whole thing with like the business aspect and aesthetics and everything, but I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, I just want people to recognize that I'm someone who's just like them. Like I go home every day, I go to school, I work, I'm a student, I have normal teenage girl problems. Like I'm just a human being. And I guess I'm just a human being who has a lot to say.
Yeah, and that's okay because it sounds to me like you're saying a lot of good things. You're learning of this. I'm guessing family, mom and dad have taught you some great skills that you're using. Would you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my mom is definitely a powerhouse of a woman, and my dad is definitely the most kind and caring person. And I'm not just saying that because they're my parents and I have.
Yeah, sure.
It's really true. It's totally true.
I mean, I've met a lot of people, but above all, my parents have influenced me the most beyond any musician or mentor that I've met. My mom always makes sure to kind of kick me in the behind about being humble, and my dad taught me kindness and caring and active listening and how to be respectful to others. And I think that's the most important thing, really. So yeah. I've had a great family.
Yeah. So you talk about, you said you work too. What else? Where do you work at?
Well, besides like my gigging and stuff, like just a high school student working at a frozen yogurt shop on the weekends.
Hey, that's cool. I like frozen yogurt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, I hustle. I do.
Yeah. Do you?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're perform, that it's just fantastic that you're sharing this because you're a person, but I wish more people your age would decide sooner to pursue whatever it is, like your love and your passion. I think there's a lot of and I know Vincent and you and I have talked about this before about go to school, get good grades, get a good job, live happily ever after. But most people I know that did that are driving down the road hating their job, right? So and it's important that you and honestly, I think sometimes that's part of the problem in the world is that people aren't happy with what they're doing with their job or whatever, right? So if you're not happy, then the frustrations of the world, pick a topic, but and has brought us to a lot of places we are today. And would you say that a part of your performancing, is that a word? Your performances, you're obviously looking to make this a career, but you're really looking to impact people in a positive way. You really want to change the world a bit, don't you?
For sure. I mean, change the world is kind of it's kind of a general term. So I always kind of ask myself, like, do I have a plan B? Like, if this doesn't work out, what I'm gonna do? And I realized that I wanted to be a teacher if this didn't work out, because I always liked the idea of teaching because I have so many ideas. And teachers, alongside my parents, have definitely taught me more about myself than anyone else. And a teacher can change the life of a student with one lesson. And so you might not be changing the world, but you're changing someone else's world. So if I can make someone's life better for 30 minutes or 2 hours or however long my set or song may be, that's enough for me to be content with life.
I want an autograph mailed to me so that when you are on top of the world, you won't forget us little people. I mean, really, I'm just having I'm in awe with you because of the way you speak and a message that you're sharing.
Thank you.
Vincent, what's it been like for you to, and even though, she's right there, you can say great things about her, but what's the experience been like for you working with Jaanvi and getting to know her family as well? Obviously, that's been a part of the relationship.
Well, as Jaanvi was speaking about these various mindsets, which are really mature, I kept thinking to what Jaanvi mentioned during one of our talks, where she was 4 years old, I believe, and her mom Pushpa kind of casually said, "Hey, how would you feel about playing piano?" So without that backbone of that genesis of a seed that was put in her life where she could go and sit in front of a piano and completely fall in love with this musical instrument, that's what transformed her soul, basically. So that came from her mom. That came from her parents, where there was a realization of the importance of the arts.
For sure.
Same thing with another guest who's going to join us here later in the show, which is a surprise guest. Same situation where there was a parental dynamic that realized the importance of the arts in their child's lives. So I would say that, it's funny the way you phrase that question, because it's kind of a slippery slope when we start adulating youth too much, or anybody of any age. So I think that there can be your typical high school guys in a rock band that think they're going to be the next Led Zeppelin. They're like pretty much convinced of that. And you have shows such as The Voice. And although we have an interesting story coming up about a similar show, which has proved to be rather fruitful for someone we were aware of. But as far as the life skills, I think that if somebody were to become really well known, they have to have those life skills going into it, or they're going to be taken advantage of by the music industry. That's just the way it is. So I think Jaanvi's very grounded, and I think that her parents try very hard to keep her grounded, because regardless of how much humility you bring into a situation, everybody has their self-doubts. Everybody, especially when you're going through your teenage years, there's so many transformations happening in your realm. So when people start adulating you and telling you how great you are, it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
So I try not to be too much like, "Oh, you're so great," and that sort of thing. At the same time, the quality of the songwriting, the Glory song, which is coming out Friday, is a major. When I watched that, I've been lucky enough to watch that before its release. It really affects me. I'm getting a little emotional now thinking about it. It's a powerful song, and I think that's exactly what Jaanvi wants to do with that song. The power of music, right there. The other thing that's interesting for me is Jaanvi is a multi-instrumentalist, So even though she's got these great keyboard chops, she's got a great vocal thing going, superb songwriting. Am I adulating too much? I should stop.
No.
She's got the ukulele, or ukulele as it's correctly called. She plays guitar. She plays, tell me what else. It's
Cello and viola.
Viola?
Yeah.
And she's actually starting in jazz singing, and really kind of blew her school away during a performance out of the blue, where the teacher didn't even know who she was recently, and then she joined, and she sang what was the name of that song?
Feeling Good, Nina Simone.
Feeling Good. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a joy. I think that if I had to pick one word, it would be joy in working with John.
Yeah. That's a great word that's a great description. I see. So okay, yes, we have to stop, right? So Jaanvi, stay grounded. Don't be too great.
Thank you.
I'm just kidding. Go all the way.
Thank you.
But those are good points, Vincent, because I think those it can be a scary world, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there will be people who will be taking advantage of you, or will try to, and the really good ones, you won't even know that they're doing it, right? Sometimes that's the problem. But I mean, put yourself out there anyway. But we always come back to this: relationships. Surround yourself with the right people, and because you do become the people. I say the 5 people you hang around with the most. You're a part of that, right? That's who you're influenced by. I'm reading a bit more here. So the name of the band that you're part of as well is called Saturday Tides. Mm-hmm. And you've got Daniel Ford on lead guitar and Brandon Hayes on drums. So
yeah,
is that part of the Glory song, or is that separate?
No, Glory song is just me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So talk about the band then for us.
Well, the band is on a bit of a hiatus, especially because school has started, and
sure.
And, yeah, I mean, we don't play as much as I would like us to play, but I mean, I guess in the small city of Longmont, it's hard to find these instrumentalists that are very dedicated. We still don't have a bassist yet, and
right.
All 3 of us are training in X amount of instruments. We all have our own things. I'm starting in a play that's coming out. We have rehearsal every single day up until 5 on. Brandon has his drum lessons. He's a serious athlete. Danielle's also a serious athlete, and he's heavily trained. He's very, very intensely classically trained.
Wow.
And I mean, as students, as people, life happens, and I mean, some things get in the way, but definitely count on us coming back. But no, Glory song is just me, and we've had some members come and go, and that's totally okay. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to work more with them. Brandon's so talented. Daniel's so talented. It really blows my mind how much speed can linger within those tiny drummer hands of his. Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for drummers. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. So,
yeah. I mean, drumming, I tried it once, did not work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just said no thanks?
I mean, I learned one drum beat, and that was enough to make me sweat. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I have a saying, people will say, don't quit, don't quit. I'm not a quitter, but I know when I'm beat.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing to live by.
Yeah, I'm not a quitter. I know when I'm beat. Well, we're going to continue talking with both of you. Just stay with me, but I just want to reach out to our audience. We've had a lot of people coming in and out. We're actually we've reached over 400 people at this point, just so you know. So that's fantastic, right? So don't let that little green number up in the corner fool you. Folks, for those of you who are watching, if you're watching this live anyway, one of the great things about our platform that we're on, it's called Be Live TV, and we want to thank our friends at Be Live TV for giving us the opportunity to be able to do these kind of broadcasts. And if you're interested in being a broadcaster, big or small, or however you want to do it, I would encourage you to go check out BeLive.tv, and they have a free program you can try there as well. And one of the great things that we can do is share your comments. If you've got a question or a comment that you want to ask to Jaanvi or Vincent or myself, you've got to do it from our Facebook page. We are simulcasting to about 6 different locations at the moment. But if you want us to see your comments, there it is on your screen. Go to fb.com/livewithdavidb and make your comments be known in there, and tell your friends who we're talking with here. This is pretty amazing, the conversation we're having. And I'm also going to take a moment here just before we continue on. Vincent's, I know he's ready to go on something here. I've shared a link on the broadcast, and if you want to be a guest and you're brave enough to come in front of the camera and a microphone, you come into the lobby here, and we can bring you on screen and have a conversation with our guests. Vincent, what's on your mind?
I just want to reiterate my pleasure of BeLive.tv. You know, I remember back wanting to do live streaming, going back like 4 years, and I couldn't because the applications weren't really, you weren't really sure that they were going to stick with the signal and everything. And then I remember Cindy Siebert, who's the mom of Emma Marie, teaching me about Periscope, and that was something that was pretty cool at the time, but then the comments would like zip by and you weren't really sure if you caught the comments that were coming through. And
it was a speed reader.
yeah, it was cool at the time. So when this came along, and once again, Cindy told me about BeLive TV, it was like, this is it. Like this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. And so I'm very excited. I had my first show with Lucy Gowan last week. I'm having Stephen Healy, who you know well.
Yeah.
He's like the guy for BeLive TV.
He's awesome.
He's the guy. He lives really close to Stonehenge, actually.
Yeah. Stephen and I, we do a show as well together.
You do. And
I've enjoyed our again another friendship created. We're every Monday 12 o'clock Eastern. And what time is your show?
So my show with Stephen is noon Mountain Standard Time tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I've got you lined up actually for early October. We're still
October 5th.
October 5th. Yeah. This Sunday I've got Andre Servu, who actually Jaanvi met Andre Servu on a Zoom call. The three of us were chatting on Zoom the other week because at some point when schedules match, we want Jaanvi and Andre, actually, they already talked about a song to do. I don't know if you wanted to give that away or not, but they picked a song that they want to work on together.
Yeah, that'll stay a secret.
That's going to be absolutely incredible. That's going to be incredible. Andre Servu is like an incredible guitar player.
Oh my God, he's crazy. Yeah.
Crazy good. He's so talented. And who else do I have lined up? I think for now that's everybody, but I'm always adding people in, so I'm really excited. Eventually, when schedule permits, I'd like to have Emma Marie on the show. Yeah. Actually, I had a very spontaneous show this morning, actually at noon, and Emma came on the show, which was great. She's homeschooled, so she was able to do that. And Lucy, her compadre, you say comadre with that? I'm not sure how that works. Comadre in London got on too. So they're going to actually start. I have to tell you this, David. We have youth ambassadors. Spread the word. We have youth ambassadors for BeLive TV.
Yes.
Emma and Lucy are going to start the Emma and Lucy show.
That's awesome.
On BeLive TV.
That's fantastic. And that's that whole Jaanvi, we talk about changing the world.
Yeah.
Don't think for a second that you can't. When I got into live streaming years ago and I started doing this, I've said to everybody, I truly believe this is a fantastic tool where you will be able to you can change the world and have a huge impact on it. Vincent, that's great that you've grabbed a hold of the opportunity too, because I like you have said, oh, I wanted to do this and do that, and I used to do it quite complicatedly, via Skype and different you had 4 different programs running and everything, and this was always in my mind, this exact design. I'm not that smart, so I couldn't program it or do whatever. But so when it came along, I totally understand what you're saying.
Well, it's so advanced, it's simple. It's like that Canon slogan, because if you look at the control panel as a host, it's like anything. There's certain muscle memory it's like playing an instrument, right? Like certain muscle memory, and once you get it, you can play quite the tune.
Yeah, and I'm, people may or may not realize, like, I'm producing this show. I'm changing the layouts and doing the graphics and everything else, so it's very cool. Okay, well, let's get back to music here. I see somebody in our lobby here.
Oh, you do? I wonder who that could be.
Well, I'm assuming that this is Emma.
Yeah, I think it is.
Even though she must be logged into to Mum or somebody's Facebook
Yes,
there.
she
But
is.
Jaanvi, we're going to take you out for a little bit if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you back in the lobby, and I'll bring Emma in here. So stay with us.
All right.
Oh, Vince, fantastic! A lot of credit to you too, my friend, because this is something you've created. I know that you're very proud of for obvious reasons, but I see you having a huge impact on some lives as well. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So sitting here in the lobby, she's smiling and she's ready and she's anxious and she's like, "Come on, buddy, click that button and get me in here."
Funny.
There we go. Hello, Emma.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's funny. I was going to say to Vince after this show, "Hey, do you think you could hook me up with Emma?" And we got this nice surprise.
Yeah.
Long time no speak. Long time no speak. It's been hours.
So Emma, I wasn't really prepared, so I'm just going to kind of have to wing it. But you've got some cool stuff going on right now. Share with us. What's your gig?
Well, so I just released a new original of mine. It's called Gold, and I'm really excited for this because it's really poppy and it's exactly how I wanted it to come out. What I basically did with this is I went on a competition and through a website called Itty Ditty. And basically what happened is I ended up submitting my song Gold, a rough version of it, and then I had producers compete to see which one I liked the best, and then I got to pick them as my winner and got to record with them and stuff. So it was really cool, and yeah, it was really fun. I love doing that, and yeah.
Well, good for you, and congratulations on that. I do have to say the one I was on Jaanvi's, I think it was on her Facebook, and I saw that she had shared that, and I listened to just a little bit of it because then I was getting ready for this show actually, and so what I did here sounds fantastic. I promise I'll go back and listen to it some more. How old are you, Emma?
I just turned 13 in July.
All right. So. Yes. What's your musical background? How long have you been involved in with what you're doing?
Well, I've been singing basically my whole life. And my mom's a music teacher and everything. It's really cool, and my parents' family are really supportive of me. But I've been playing guitar for about 4 years now, and I've been playing piano for about 2.5, and songwriting for almost 4, so like 3.5 years. So. Wow,
good for you. That's exciting. You're obviously you can and again, you can tell when you talk to a person that they're really passionate about what they're doing just by the smile you've got and the energy you're bringing. Vincent, let's go over to you, and there's probably some other sides of Emma you can share with us. I mean, we do talk a lot about passion and accept. She's another one that seems to like she's having an impact on this room right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've known Emma and her family for about 3 years, I think. And when she was just about turning 10 or maybe 9 at the time, and her vocals were through the roof. Like you were kind of, because Emma's somewhat small in stature, I think it's fair to say. Okay. And she, you're like, many people would say, how can that powerful a voice come out of such a small body? And I think it's, a lot of that comes from Cindy, her mom, being very knowledgeable about music. Yeah. And sort of as we alluded to Jaanvi before, when she was 4 and her mother pushed us saying, hey, do you want to learn piano? In a similar fashion, Cindy was able to really recognize early on the talent that Emma had and has really nurtured that and encouraged that as a family. And then being able through different nonprofit organizations and through RAMP as well to have opportunities that have come their way. So they're really learning the business and they've been teaching me a lot. I think it's been a mutual admiration society as far as being able to give each other knowledge and share knowledge. and it's been really great. And as powerful a singer as Emma is, her piano and guitar chops are just fantastic, and she's getting some really great mentoring through her teachers that have been teaching her. So she's a very dedicated, hardworking musician, as is Jaanvi, and really not taking anything for granted, just wanting to continue to get better.
That's fantastic. Wow, Emma, that's got to make you feel pretty good to hear all of that, and it's where does your writing come from as well? The song Gold, did you write that, or did you have help with that, or how did that get put together?
So basically, when I write my music, I always try to make things. I try to make my music encouraging, and so most of the time, sometimes I will start. Most of the time, because I'm a melody person, and so most of the time I'll come up with melody and chords first, and then I'll kind of decide what my song's going to be about. But sometimes I'll just go into it and not know what it's going to be about yet. And then like halfway through the song, I'll realize, oh, this sounds, like blah, 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 or you know what I mean? So stuff like that, that's mainly how I write my music. Right. And yes.
Do they get, so is this stuff that comes from, when you say encouraging, what kind of things do you want to encourage in people?
Good question.
That's a good one. Yeah. So my goal, I think to encourage. So the thing that I want to help people, feel is that one of my songs that's called All That Counts, it's about not comparing yourselves to others, because the beauty within is all that counts. It's not about what you look, how you look to other people, and it's just the beauty within on how nice you are, things like that. And also, I write about a lot of different encouraging things, and I do have a couple songs. My song Gold is, in a way, kind of a love song. 13 crushes. Oh, yeah? But it's
from a
also
person.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, but I think it's cool because at the bridge, I make it encouraging, like saying that we're too young to be, doing all this, getting involved with all this boy-girl drama stuff, So that's kind of that song.
I've definitely got to listen to the rest of it tonight before I go to bed. Here's this.
Do you mind if I interject?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Do you want to mention Song Whispers?
Oh right, yes, that's a good one. So it was my second original. It's called Whispers of Love, and I'm adopted. And so my birth mother wrote a poem for me when I was a baby. And so when I wrote that song, my second song, I decided to take that poem and turn it into a song. And I called it Whispers of Love. So that one's from a personal experience too. And I love it a lot. And yeah.
That's a tearjerker. That's a definite. And there's actually an adoption gala that you brought that song to as well, Emma. That song is a tearjerker, big time.
Fantastic. I will say to you, Emma, thank you for sharing, because that's, I can't imagine. I think we all have things inside us that can be difficult to share. So it's fantastic that you found this venue in music to be able to do that, and it's courageous of you. I will say, I don't know if you realize that, but that's because people don't always appreciate it when we share. I don't think so. I think sometimes we're afraid to share for fear of what other people might think.
Yeah.
And so that's incredible. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm old. I'm 48 years old, and I don't know. Maybe I just insulted Vincent. I don't know if he's older or younger than me, but.
Youthful though. That's all that counts, Emma.
But there you go. What's encouraging though, at least my opinion, is young folks like yourself and Jaanvi and others that I've spoken to who are speaking up and are overcoming that fear, because it's not easy, right? It can be hard.
Yeah, definitely. But it's really fun. I love it. So
Yeah.
I
Go
wanted to
ahead,
make a
Vince.
suggestion, and David, this is great. This was last minute. You were able to ask me if I had somebody to come on, which was fantastic. And I would make a recommendation just because I'm a little more familiar with the dynamic of these two artists. If you wanted to take me off and set me in the lobby and have Jaanvi and Emma talk to you, and they've done some performing together, and it's very profound, and their harmonizing is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in my life. So
Well,
if you wanted to bring Jaanvi on and set me in the lobby, that would be incredible.
fantastic. We'll do that right now. Great idea from Vincent there. We're kicking him out for a little bit. And Jaanvi, if you're ready, we'll. She's been patient in the lobby there as well. And boom, there we go. Now we've got both of you here. I'm thinking this is. Would this be a spontaneous performance you could give us here of some sort, or am I putting you on the spot, or they're like, I don't know what, can you come up with something? Yeah, so you two have worked together then? You've performed together?
Yeah.
yeah, we have.
What was that, Jaanvi, what was that experience like for you?
Man, it was so much fun. Just not even like the entire like performance of it or like kind of getting ready for that and working through details of what songs we were gonna do for that gig. It was just really getting to know each other because we had been a part of Ramp. Like I think I met Emma through like the Blue Star shows that is through Ramp, and Emma was involved with Ramp before I was, and we had known each other, or we've known each other or of each other for about 2 years, and then for 2 years we didn't actually like do any talking or we didn't collab. And then there was one show opportunity, and I mean, like, this might sound a bit self-indulgent, but Emma and I, our voices blend very nicely together, which I would just like to put out there. But
it's fantastic.
Yeah, getting to play with Emma was super fun, especially with someone who kind of knows like the business aspect of things and who can be very professional about her work, but we can still have fun and talk about completely irrelevant things. It's just kind of getting to know the artist and connecting on a deeper level and creating a friendship.
That's fantastic. Emma, what about you? Like, what was it? Obviously some similarities in your response there, but did you learn anything performing with Jaanvi, or did you learn anything from her?
I mean, I loved performing with her, and I really hope we do more in the future. And it was just really cool to be able, to get to know her and stuff. I think it was nice to be able to find someone that I can harmonize with, and that's easy to, talk to and stuff, and just really good friend with music, but as well outside of that, just it's really cool just to know someone like that. And
So now, do you guys talk about other things besides music?
Yes, we do. We talk about normal teenage girl things.
Teenage stuff like boys.
We actually talk a lot about Harry Potter because that's something that we both bond over.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So besides Harry Potter, who's your favorite character in Harry Potter?
Snape, because I'm an angsty teen. No.
I don't know. Mine's a mix between Hermione and Luna.
Yeah.
I'm
thinking this could be a whole other show.
Jeez, we could go on for hours about Harry Potter.
We did that.
Yeah, my top two have to be Snape and Draco, which we talked about for a good half an hour.
I know, we did.
Fantastic. Can you, okay, I'm going to come back to you again. I'm going to put the pressure on. Can you guys, on the spot here, can you give me 30 seconds of the two of you singing together or something?
Okay, if the delays aren't so bad, maybe we could make it work.
You want to do Glory Song? Or at least just sing it? Want to sing Glory Song?
Yeah, we could do Glory Song.
Okay.
I'm stepping back. You guys go when you're ready.
Hold my hand, take a risk. Can you harmonize with that?
Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Hold my hand, take a risk. No, it's so delayed. I like
It's so
can't.
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
I'm
tell you what.
trying.
I want to hear your voices. So yeah, the delay that'll be difficult.
Yeah.
So Jaanvi, can you give me 30 seconds of you singing something, and then Emma, I'm going to come over to you. How about that?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, Jaanvi.
I'm just gonna do Glory Song again. Why not? uh, Every night I go to bed and wonder what imagined set this couldn't have been what Lennon meant. How could it be what went wrong? The lives of a billion glory song. I guess we were dead all along.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Whew, chills are going around here. All right, Emma, over to you. Give us your 30 seconds.
I'll do a little of Gold.
Yeah.
If I told you always go, would you come running, running? Would you come running, running? If I told you all my deepest secrets, would you keep them, keep them? Would you keep them, keep them? And I know it's tough to keep these things locked away, and I know it's tough, but I hope you know.
Wow. You can't. I don't know if you can see him, but Vince is in the lobby, just giving you a big thumbs up here, and that's amazing. Well, I have to say thank you both so much for joining me here on my show, and I wish you both tremendous success. I have no doubt that we're going to see big things. And Jaanvi, I know we already hooked up on Facebook, and Emma, you're welcome to do that as well. And let's chat from time to time, and keep me posted. I know Vincent will too. We're becoming good friends as well, and I'm excited for you. And yeah, just go for it, right? And don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams.
Thank you.
Don't let anybody talk you out of it at all. So, Jaanvi, I'm going to start wrapping up, and I do want to bring Vince back for some final comments. But Jaanvi, I'll come to you first. Is there anything final comments you want to put out there to the audience?
I mean, I guess audience-wide, everyone goes through a little something every single day, whether that be a long-term or short-term thing.
What happened there? All right, I'm not sure what happened there, Vincent. I've lost both the girls. It's just you in here, so I will bring you back. I don't know. Something just went poof on my screen, and they were gone. So I apologize for that. So hopefully you can let them know. She's probably still talking in front of the camera and doesn't even know it.
Okay. Yeah,
well, Vincent, I thank you so much for it's nice that we met last week and talked last week. More about Ramp, and this was sort of a kind of a spin-off of that. Those are two amazing young ladies there.
Yeah, and they had that way before I met them. I've been encouraging that and supporting that and giving some opportunities, but that comes from them. That comes from their parents, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. It was cool, and I have to compliment you. I mean, the way that you interviewed them, that was really fantastic. So thank you for that. And I love the fact that you had them each sing a little bit, and we learned a little bit where the syncing doesn't quite work with them singing together. But the fact that you got to hear them sing was really a great idea, because their singing affects people right in the heart. Boom.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, I thank you for bringing Emma on there too, because I said I wanted to have her on at some point anyway. So I got kind of a 2-for-1 deal here tonight.
You did, and we can have them back certainly in different.
Absolutely.
Different people that they're working with. And so thank you very much. This was a spontaneous show, and a lot of times when things are spontaneous, they turn out really, really well because they are spontaneous.
That's great. Well, we're going to start wrapping up here, Vincent, but if you do me a favor, and if you could send me some links, if the girls, I never did get to websites or anything, then I can share that on our Facebook page. And I definitely want to hear all their music, and I got to get autographs, and I want a CD when it comes out. I just want it all. That's fantastic. So thank you, my friend, for being here again, and for all that you've done with RAMP, our friend Vincent Burkhart. If you want to find out more about RAMP, I know that we're going to have him back again, but there's the website on your screen, ramp.guru. And do you know if Jaanvi took the last two letters off of her last name, she would be a guru?
That's right. I hadn't pieced that together before, Yeah,
there you go. So, all right. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking again, and I know you and I've got some other plans we got to work on as well too. So I'm looking forward to that. So thanks again for being here, Vincent.
We do, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a great Be Live community, 3,000 strong and growing.
That's right. Thanks so much, Vincent. We'll talk to you soon.
David. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I have to say, I'm kind of blown away by the guests that we have here. Obviously, I always know a little bit about them before. But I learned so much from the guests that we've had on here, and I know we'll be having Vincent, some of his team, I guess you could call from RAMP, will be having some more members of RAMP talking to us. Might be cool to get some of the mentors of RAMP on here as well. So thank you so much, everybody. If you'd like to be a part of the show Live with David, I'd love to have you on here. Go to my website, tvsn.ca, and click on the link of Live with David. And, there's Jaanvi coming back. Oh, just in time. We're going to bring her back one more time. I think she's ready. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, Jaanvi. It just went poof and you were gone.
Oh, well, you guys froze, so the live button was still blinking.
Okay, well, you and Emma were just like not even on my screen anymore. So
oh, no.
I'll let you do it. Whatever you were saying, say it one more time, then we'll go.
Awesome. Anyways, so I said everyone has their own problems to deal with, whether that be short-term or long-term, but I just want to make it clear that there is a better tomorrow for you, and there are good things coming your way, and you deserve to see all of it. And I know a lot of people kind of carry around this idea of, I guess, stereotypical younger musicians that are kind of born with that, but I can assure you I am no Sister Rosanna Tharpe. I am no Billie Joe Armstrong. It comes with practice, perseverance, and just kind of having a good attitude about it. So it's never too late to change your mind. So yeah.
That's awesome. And you're on the right track.
Thank you.
Believe it, like so amazingly on track. So
thank you.
You're a joy, as Vincent would say, to
thank you.
To have you here and talk with you. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon. And I look forward to hearing more of your music.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Take care, Jaanvi. All right, there you go, folks. I got to wrap it up, and I almost feel like we could almost do another hour, but we'll save it for another show. Maybe we'll do a Harry Potter show, and maybe they'll be Jaanvi and Emma can be the hosts, because I don't know that much about Harry Potter. Thanks, everybody, once again. I'll be here every Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Please visit my website, tvsn.ca, and our Facebook pages. We're on Instagram, Twitter, everything with TVSN World. Until next time, take care and good night.